This is Neil Schneider for MTBS-TV at SIGGRAPH 2015. Sadly, the show is coming to a close, but not before one more interview. To my immediate right is Ed Lance. Ed Lance is President and CTO for Vortex Immersion Media. Welcome to the program, Ed.
Hi, glad to be here.
Now, I'm giving you credit for your company, but you were also co-chair with Denise Quinnell for the VR Village.
That's correct. The VR Village, this is our first year of doing this program, and by all appearances, it was extremely successful for SIGGRAPH.
Now, Ed, if I may say, you have this tremendous background when it comes to immersive media, long before this modern era of virtual reality started. Tell us a little bit about your work.
It really goes back to when I was a teenager and had this vision of performing in a huge dome theater, projecting consciousness onto the dome and taking the audience on a ride. I found myself as an engineer. I have a double E degree, a master's degree in engineering, and did 7 years of aerospace engineering and just wasn't into it. And I left there to work in a planetarium. I took a huge cut in pay. Everyone thought I was nuts, you know. And I'm looking at this dome, writing code for the sun and the moon, and I'm like, what if we could map pixels to that dome? What would that be like? And it would be like a wideband interface to the brain. So over the years, in the mid-90s, we started edge blending multiple video projectors on the dome. I went to work for a planetarium manufacturer. I actually got to design over a dozen of these domes around the world, Library of Alexandria, and one at Papalote Museo in Mexico City, and 3 in the UK. So these are, we converted the planetariums into immersive visualization chambers.
So, if I may, why are domes so appealing? I mean, you highlighted it a little bit before, but what is it about a dome that makes it so special?
Yeah. Well, to me, what's special are immersive environments and virtual worlds. So filmmakers aren't making movies anymore, they're building worlds, right? Franchises, they call it, okay. So really the dome is just a portal into those worlds, but it's a special portal for a group of people. So you put on a headset, you can individually, hand-eye, manipulate and walk around in these worlds. You know, a dome is more like a tour bus through virtual reality for a group of people. No encumbering headgear or gloves or anything. You can just sit there and go along for this ride.
So now your company specializes in creating these experiences for domes, I take it, yes?
Yes, we've done 3 Super Bowls, a couple Comic-Con domes, South by, you know, like that, NBA All-Stars, and these are like branded experiential marketing experience. Basically, I'm going to where I can make money doing what I love, and that's what has worked for us.
Now, your content, is it in 2D? Is it in stereoscopic 3D, a little of each?
We've done some stereo. In fact, we did a very interesting project for the Sheikh in Dubai with a team of Hollywood filmmakers. We created a wraparound screen. It was a dome with a 90-degree tilt, so you're looking into the dome like this. And we had motion seats, 60 frames per second per eye, from a 4K video projector with 35,000 lumens on a little 7-meter dome, with motion seats and a leap controller, so you could fly a magic carpet with your hand through cool stuff, flying through a model of the brain and all. The stereo really is powerful, although even without stereo, you have the immersive peripheral vision effect, so your sense of balance is affected. So yeah, the domes are more powerful than the headsets because you have higher resolution and you have a wider instantaneous field of view.
Now, the thing about a dome is it's almost, I would call it almost 360 because you've got that top half, but you don't have the bottom half. Yeah. I hope I come across right when I say that.
No, that's exactly the case. In fact, DreamWorks gave a talk yesterday about their dragon flying experience, and they gave us these equirectangular frames, which are full sphere. Top edge of the frame maps the single pixel at the North Pole, the bottom edge single pixel at the South Pole. We had the unfortunate situation where we had to crop half of the image out because we had to decide which half of the sphere to actually put on the dome. So yeah, sometimes it's a drag. I mean, I'd like the theater to go under it, but you know, in a practical situation, there's heads to side of you, in front of you, so really your clear field of view is above, and it essentially is a hemisphere.
The reason I brought that question up was, do you think the content that you're creating for the dome could be repurposed for individual experiences like virtual reality?
Yeah, we do it all the time. As a matter of fact, what we're seeing emerge, I feel, is an immersive media ecosystem. From the out-of-home big cinematic dome theaters just like cinema is at home, to the home viewing, which is the headsets. So, we got it all.
Now, you have a history with SeeGraph directly as well. They call you a SeeGraph pioneer.
Yeah, I don't like that term, but yeah, 1991 was my first SIGGRAPH, and virtual reality was just emerging. And I was blown away. I also had just in '90, I had left aerospace engineering to work in the planetarium. I went to a planetarium conference that year, which was horrifying. Some of it, the content was, slide projectors on domes, And the same year I went to SIGGRAPH, and I was like, oh my God. I vowed that these two worlds must come together. And I started doing courses at SIGGRAPH and, pulling the computer graphics community in. So we have here in the dome here, we've had NCSA, National Center for Supercomputing Applications, the Cal Academy of Sciences, the American Museum of Natural History, and they're all doing all these simulations with NASA scientists. It's really cool, and it's really taken off, and there's 1,300 digital domes in the world now. So it's happened.
I hope you can get the sense of humor. I'm going to say two words, and for those who are not familiar with those two words, I'm hoping you could explain why it's an industry joke. South Park.
Oh, well, that's kind of embarrassing, but there was an episode of South Park where they were in a planetarium, and they were using, the kids thought the planetarium was so boring. But when they got the kids in there, they hypnotized them into becoming volunteers at the planetarium. And they ran a laser show, and they hear the Footloose and they nailed it, and we all in the industry just went, oh, But, this is the thing, we want to bring in the high-end computer graphics, the awesome storytellers of Hollywood, the brilliant VR developers into this format and max it out. And we've done some cool projects. Like we worked on a project, we provided a 200-foot diameter dome for a private party for the founder of Minecraft. And 26 video projectors edge blended on the screen, Skrillex and Diplo spinning. Pretty cool stuff. I mean, it's starting to really go somewhere now. So,
wonderful, wonderful stuff. So one more question for you, because you've been at this for some time. You mentioned, I think, 91 was a year where you saw VR at SeeGraph and so on. So we're now 2015. What are your thoughts on this industry's future? Having seen a lot before, what do you think now is something different this time around?
Well, I think really the thing that I most need to see, I want to see, is harnessing the power of immersive media and pixels, because pixels are going to be everywhere. So I want to walk into a building, I want to reach into the cloud, pull my personal data, throw it on a table, trade photos with people, and walk away without the need for a smartphone. And in terms of the virtual worlds, I don't want to have to wear something on my head, ideally. And I think the domes are good for that. You can, maybe home domes, like that, where you portal into the immersive world. Maybe it's a room or a party, and the walls go on for infinity because there's a party in France on this wall, and there's a party, you know what I mean? Like you're just in this, like a dance party that's multicast live globally, and people dancing along with the DJ, and you're pulling them back into the room with you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
All right, thanks so much.
This is Neil Schneider for MTBS-TV at SeeGraph 2015. Thank you for watching.